Good afternoon, everyone. To Reverend clergy, invited guests, my brothers and sisters in Christ. Before I speak on my prepared words, Reverend Boyer, just let us in prayer. And I just have something that we've been talking about for a while, so I think this is appropriate since we're celebrating the many contributions, the historical contributions of Black church throughout the nation, throughout the state, but particularly here in Patterson. And many of you may or may not know that Reverend Boyle is presently preaching. His church is where King, where Dr. King, in his last visit before his assassination to Patterson, actually prayed and worshiped with us. And seems it was about a year ago, Martin Luther King Day celebration there. And I encourage all Pattersonians to walk into that church because you will feel what I felt. And I felt motivated to the fact that I said, well, how could we leave this church starting to fall to urban decay? And we know we have a certain amount of urban decay around the neighborhood, but we're seeing new homes go up. We're seeing new senior citizens buildings go up. We're seeing dilapidated buildings go down. So our spirit is high. So I'm asking for you to please join me in a date that we're going to soon announce at a build-out day. A build-out day that I will be in charge of getting almost all the corporate materials needed. The 2x4s, the carpeting, the glue, the paint. But I'm calling upon our faith-based community, all 400 of them located in Patterson, to join us in one build day so that we could have a place of destination, that folks could come from all over the place and say that Patterson is truly a special place. Just like it was Rosa Parks' visit to our own Rosa Parks School of Performing Arts. Just like our own Larry Doby. Just like our own John Holland. We've been a first in many. And we want people all over the country, all over the world, that when they come and they want to pray, that same place that was the last place that of King, while King was alive here in Patterson, that we could hold it truly as an historical, monumental place here in Patterson. So, and so as we celebrate, we did the proclamation. You see the flag flying in front of City Hall. As a Pattersonian born here in Patterson. My parents, Puerto Rican. My father came from Puerto Rico over 70 years ago, and he's there now, and he'll soon return 91 years old. But this city, his city, his beloved city, is where he was able to send me to school, my other brothers and sisters, and the rest is history. But it's important to know that why it's so important for us to celebrate our culture and our diversity. You may or may not know that small little island in the Caribbean is comprised of 3 cultures, 3 races. Its original inhabitants, which was the Taino Indian. Its second one then, it was raided by Spain. And along when the Spaniards came, they brought along the slaves on their ship. And it was after they finished raiding up the Taino women and raping the Taino women, the only thing that was left then was the Spaniard and the African American. And that's why that you see, whether you'll see the texture of my skin and some others even darker than me. And their hair not as straight as mine. But we do still have roots from the many, many contributions that the African American and the Africans have made to our nation and our world. So I'm pleased to bring greetings. Welcome to you, and thank you for being here today. This event, the Black Church, We Are Living Stones, is in celebration of our opening of our 2010 Black History Month exhibit, and to recognize various churches who reached a 50-year milestone or more of existence and active ministry in our community. In doing so, you may have encountered obstacles, but knowing you have solace in whatever challenges you face, and you're not alone. You remember to always ASAP. Always say a prayer. For God promised He would be with each one of us every day. Reverend Maven, Reverend Russell, Reverend Dr. Rowe, Reverend Dr. Graham, Reverend Dr. McDonald, Reverend Clayton, Reverend Farrar, Bishop Pettiford, Reverend Lagarde, Reverend Nance, and our guest speaker, Reverend Dr. Watley. As you continue to shepherd over your flock, your congregation, my prayers will be with you as you commune daily. You and your congregations are instruments in providing moral support, spiritual enrichment to our community. I am very thankful for this. Because we sometimes don't understand God's timing, we live upset and frustrated, wondering when God is going to do something. God, when are you going to change violence? When are you going to change hunger? When are you going to bring peace? God, when is the economy going to get better? When are my dreams are going to come to pass? When you understand God's timing, however, you won't live all stressed out. You can relax, knowing that God is in control. And at the perfect time, He is going to make it happen. The scripture says, the vision is for an appointed time. Though it tarry, waits earnestly for it will come to pass. Notice, it's called an appointed time. It may be next week, next year, 10 years from now, but whenever it is, you can rest assured that it is God's perfect timing. For over 938 years collectively, our faith-based community provides Patterson with spiritual guidance. Today, we pay tribute for your hard work, dedication, and commitment, and recognizing that God will bring it all together. When it's that appointed time, no man can keep it from happening. When it's your due season, God will bring it to pass. Suddenly, things will change. Suddenly, the violence will stop. Suddenly, there will be no more hunger. Suddenly, there will be no more war. Suddenly, there will be more jobs. Suddenly, there will be no more recession. And suddenly, God will bring all our hopes and dreams to pass. I want to share a short story with you in closing. Yesterday morning, my wife received a phone call while I was in the shower. It was Jimmy Richardson, indicating that he would have to cancel this event because of the projected snowstorm. Later that day, I was informed by my secretary that it would be too complicated to change this event because we had already done so far in the planning process. Where parts of New Jersey have received over a foot of snow, Patterson was untouched. That's what I call an appointed time. So at this time, and I won't, if I could, I'll just read one. At this time, I want every honoree will be receiving a mayor's citation, and I'll read one. For the church's willingness to serve our community through the many voluntary contributions, which is the foundation of the community success and programs. And we know that when there is no firm foundation, then we cannot build that rock on that rock or that house of God. So celebrating 176 years of active community service, the First African Methodist Episcopal Church under the leadership of Reverend Douglas Maven. Celebrating 61 years of active New African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church, Reverend Robert Russell. 131 years of active community service, Calvary Baptist Church, Reverend Dr. Albert P. Rowe. 104 years, Canine Baptist Church, Reverend Dr. Gaston Graham. And you know, another thing, I'm going to put it out there. I had the opportunity to be at this year, Martin Luther King celebration at Graham's Church, Canine Baptist Church. And I told Reverend Watley that the apple didn't fall too far to the church because young Matthew was preaching at that event. And Dr. Graham said, I don't think the apple fell at all. And I said, amen to that. Celebrating 50 years of active community service, St. Luke Baptist Church, under the leadership of Reverend Kenneth Clayton. Celebrating 60 years, Community Baptist Church of Love, Reverend Frederick Lagarde Jr. 64 years, the Gilmore Memorial Tabernacle Church, Reverend Patrick Farr. 53 years, the Greater Bible Word Church under the leadership of Bishop Franklin Pettifer, 169 years. St. James, everybody what's that church? St. James African Methodist Episcopal Church under the leadership of Reverend Dr. William Wackley. And we also want to celebrate and acknowledge the many contributions and their servitude of community involvement in the field of communication, Reverend Teresa Nance. Church by the side of the road. Also, in this one I'm going to ask to come. Jimmy, please join me. I want to present the creator of this exhibit. This is the second year that Jimmy has undone himself and providing a wonderful exhibit and the many exhibits sharing the many contributions of the African American community here in Patterson. So to Jimmy, you're hereby presented the Mayor's Award for Outstanding Civic Contribution. Your efforts has enriched us generously because a community possesses no greater treasure than the dedicated service of its people. I extend my gratitude and appreciation and wish you good health, happiness, and success in the years ahead. Jimmy?